What is up, you guys? Today we're going to talk about something that you and I have probably learned about in school but haven't thought about in a long time, and that is space. I wore my Star Wars sweatshirt today for the special occasion. I'm excited. You're excited? Let's get into this video. Alright, my name is Lucy Claire and we are going to be talking about space today. How, you ask, is space related to vinyl records? And I'll tell you how. Our music history fun fact for this week is that the first CD ever pressed in the US was Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA album. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of good songs on that album. If you're a Bruce Springsteen fan, tell us in the comments below. Have you ever heard of Voyager 1? Maybe Voyager 2? Well, I hadn't heard of either one of them until a couple nights ago. I was browsing through Disney Plus. I came along this cool show hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was attempting to teach me, a non-science person, how to conceptualize space and the cosmos, called Cosmos: A Space Odyssey. And one of the things that it talked about was this amazing deep space satellite called Voyager 1. To introduce you to the Voyager 1 satellite, it is a deep space satellite that was launched in 1977, and it is a project that was launched by Carl Sagan and is the farthest human-made object from Earth. What is extra cool about Voyager 1 and its twin, Voyager 2, is that they are traveling so far away from us, they will be in space in 40,000 years. They are light years away from us at this point, but they will continue to go deeper and deeper into space, not reporting data to us, but still being far out into our observable universe. So that is very cool. First of all, I really recommend this show. Go watch it. It's based off of an original series that was hosted by Carl Sagan, the amazing astrophysicist. Now there's a second season on Disney Plus that's hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson. I believe that the season came out in 2014. It's an amazing show, so please go watch it. Anyway, it did this whole intro on this deep space satellite. Now all of you Star Trek nerds will understand why this spaceship being named Voyager 1 is so cool. For those of you who may not be clued into it, which is alright, I understand, there's an entire 7-season series called Star Trek Voyager, in which Captain Catherine Janeway, who is the only female captain, she pilots the Star Trek Voyager, and they end up in deep space, and the entire series is based on them trying to get back from what is called the Delta Quadrant. I'd like to think in my head that the producers and directors and writers of Voyager were thinking of this deep space satellite and its impact on the science missions of NASA when they developed the show. I'm not sure it's all a conspiracy at this point, but that would be really cool. So what I want to talk about today is Voyager 1. And you might ask, how is this related to vinyl records, Lucy? Why are you talking about this on a vinyl channel? Let me stop you. Let me say this. In 1977, society decided it would be really cool that if there were extraterrestrial life, that we send out a message. And that's where vinyl comes into this story. Voyager 1 and 2 both hold a golden audio-visual disc. So basically, a record, and it's basically a howdy from us to whoever picks it up and is able to figure out how to play it. The scientists on the project took about a year to compile as much information that they felt was worthy of sharing and important for extraterrestrial life to learn about us. The golden discs that are on Voyager 1 and 2 are audio-visual, so they contain a lot of photos from Earth in 1977 and before, both in color and in black and white. There is pictures of just what life was like on Earth, the way that we've evolved. There's a bunch of information just through the visual part of this. Here are a few of the photos that are non-copyrighted that I can show you. In accompaniment with that, there's also a bunch of music selections that Carl Sagan and his team from Cornell University thought would be a good selection to show the many talents and the evolution of Earth music. Now, as you can imagine, a team at Cornell University picking from the multitudinous variety that they could, all music on Earth, what would be important to include? That includes all of the time of human civilization, so it spans the entire all of our living centuries. That's a hell of a lot of music. I wouldn't want that job. To be honest, I can't even decide what to play on my record table on any given day. I rely on Discogs most of the time to tell me what to put on the table, so I couldn't even imagine having to decide for the entire planet what they're gonna have extraterrestrial life listen to as the first examples of what good music from Earth sounds like. That's an impossible task for a lot of us. It includes what most people would consider classical works of art, including Beethoven, J.S. Bach, as well as Stravinsky. It also includes a lot of different kinds of folk music, some Azerbaijani folk music, some Russian folk music, and ironically, not that much American pop. Now, to us that might seem crazy. I know that America is very America-centric. How could we possibly not include that much American music? One thing that Carl Sagan and his team did include was Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good, and I think that that is such an amazing inclusion. However, it was really controversial because a lot of people said that American pop music, or rock pop at the time, was super adolescent and we shouldn't include it. All these intellectuals thinking in a lab about what extraterrestrials were going to listen to, they thought that Johnny B. Good was too adolescent to include in that collection. And to them, Carl Sagan responded, there are a lot of adolescents on this planet. And I love that response. I think it's so human. Music like Johnny B. Good just shows what humanity has evolved to enjoy. I mean, we listen to Johnny B. Good. I can't imagine what Carl Sagan's team would say about the music that young people listen to now. I can't imagine them including a lot of the things that we listen to. I think it's also a fun fact that Sagan's team wanted to include the song Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles on the record, but were refused by EMI. They declined to give Carl Sagan and his team the copyright to include the song on the golden record that was going to go into deep space. If I was them, I would be kicking myself now, that's for sure. In fact, Carl Sagan said that the Beatles themselves favored the idea of having their song shot a million miles away. But because they didn't own the copyright, EMI had the final say. Let's just hope that EMI is a little bit smarter about these things now. Also on the record was a speech from President Jimmy Carter at the time, who issued a welcome to anyone that was able to figure out how to play the record in space. Also, additionally, there was a message from the Secretary of the UN at the time.
As the Secretary General of the United Nations, an organization of 147 member states, who represent almost all of the human inhabitants of the planet Earth, I send greetings on behalf of the people of our planet. We step out of our solar system into the universe seeking only peace and friendship, to teach if we are called upon, to be taught if we are fortunate. We know full well that our planet and all its inhabitants are but a small part of this immense universe that surrounds us, and it is with humility and hope that we take this step.
The last thing about Voyager 1 that I think is so amazing is that on the record cover, which is basically two metal plaques smushed together, is the inscription to the makers of music, all worlds, all time. I feel like that just says it all. Carl Sagan wanted to send something into space that would reach far beyond what the human imagination can even comprehend, and I feel like with this project he definitely accomplished that. Now I know this video is a little bit more historical nerd of me than some of you would like, but those of you that are here for the grab and go record picks, I wanted to add a little something for you. I thought I would do 5 songs that I would want included on the Voyager 1 vinyl record. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I think that this project would be impossible for me. But here are a few that I think would most definitely make the cut. Alright, if I was to include 5 songs on the Voyager 1 Golden Record, they would be Gentle on My Mind by Glenn Campbell, Graceland by Paul Simon, Imagine by John Lennon, Lay Lady Lay by Bob Dylan, and All That Matters by Mark Knopfler. Alright you guys, that is my video for this week. I want everyone, if they can, to look up the Voyager 1 project. My fingers are crossed that that record gets played one day by someone who will understand it. If this project interests you, please leave a comment in the comment section. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more fun music history and vinyl related content. Also, hop on over to my Instagram, my Twitter, or my Facebook page, because I have lots of content queued up there as well. So stay tuned to see who I pick next week to do a deep dive on. So see you next week.